Hi friends, Hannah Look Health Coach here. So today I'm going to be talking about carb cycling and more specifically one really simple way to do it. And this way can be especially helpful for people who are maybe new to playing around with their food timing and or people who are trying to lean out and also do a lot of hard exercise. So before I get into the 2 steps for what I like to call a mini carb cycle, I will just first give you a quick overview of what carb cycling is and how it can be beneficial. So just like it sounds, carb cycling simply means eating more carbs during certain days or periods of time and fewer carbs than others. And it can be beneficial because when you're trying to lean out, you of course need to eat in a calorie deficit, right? And oftentimes going lower carb along with this deficit can be helpful. Not always, but a lot of the time. And the problem here is that calories and carbs are quite literally our fuel, right? And so what happens when we go too low calorie and too low carb for too long? Well, we run out of fuel and it's really hard on our bodies and we end up feeling like crap in the gym and probably outside of the gym too. And eventually our metabolism starts to slow down, we stop losing weight, and everything works against us. So, and then I'll say for people who are also doing hard exercise, carbs here are especially key because that intense exercise like CrossFit or hard running or interval training, anything like that, those are activities that are fueled by what's called the glycolytic energy system. And just like it sounds, that system relies on glucose for fuel. And carbs are the main source of glucose. Yes, your body can convert protein and fats into glucose because it's that important to your body, but it's not going to be in the same way or the optimal amount that's really going to help you crush your workouts, right? So all of this to say, kind of back to the example here, let's say you're trying to lose weight, lean out, and you're also doing hard exercise. So rather than staying low calorie and low carb for a long time and eventually having your metabolism slow down, by fluctuating these things, carbs and calories, sometimes one or the other, in this video I'll just focus on the carbs, but by fluctuating these, you can actually help prevent your metabolism from slowing down and at the same time also top off those muscle glycogen stores so that you're always properly fueled for your workouts. So in a nutshell, that's why carb cycling can be beneficial. It can be an especially effective method of weight loss for people who are already fairly lean. And quick side note, by what I mean by going low carb, or what I mean when I keep saying carbs, I'm talking about carb dense foods here. So foods like rice, potatoes, oatmeal, bread, pasta, even fruit, any foods that are higher in carbohydrates. So with that, there are tons of different ways to do carb cycling. Can really get as complicated as you want to make it. You can do low carb, high carb, even moderate carb days, and you can also change up protein and fat on each of those days and calories as well. You can fluctuate calories on those high carb, low carb days, and there's tons of different variables that you can play around with. Obviously, the more complicated and crazy you want to make it, the more control and consistency it's going to require over your diet. And so that's one reason why I really like the mini carb cycle method. It's because it can really be helpful for people who maybe do track their food and get specific with the numbers and that kind of thing. But it can also be helpful for people who don't want to track their food and don't want to get that specific. So you can do either. You can take these next 2 steps and plan out your meals and track everything, or you can also just keep these steps in mind as you're eating throughout the day, just as guidelines and a way to structure your diet. So with that, I'll give you now the two really simple steps to doing what I call a mini carb cycle. So step number 1 is on your rest days, so days you don't work out. Simply space your carbs out evenly throughout the day. So This might mean, quick example, maybe for breakfast you have buttered coffee, then lunch you do a salad, and then dinner you would do a big pasta dinner. So actually, in this example, rather than doing that, you would take a third of that pasta, have it with your breakfast, a third with your lunch, and then keep a third with your dinner. Kind of a weird example, but just to give you an idea of how this works. So really what you're going for here is just having a small amount with each meal and snack throughout the day. So you're not getting these huge spikes in insulin, which are then can then end up resulting in excess carbs getting stored as fat and interfering with your weight loss. So if you just have these small amounts throughout the day, you're going to have a much higher chance of the carbs that you're eating actually being put to use for energy and also being stored for fuel. So step number 1, again, rest day, space it out evenly. Step number 2 is on a workout day, you want to eat most of your carbs around your workouts. So the reason for this is because you are the most insulin sensitive during and after your workout. And all that means in a nutshell is that when you eat carbs in this window, they're going to be far less likely to get converted into fat and far more likely or much more easily put into the right cells to help you recover, get stronger, and even have those carbs get stored as muscle glycogen for a future workout. Now, like I said, you don't have to get too crazy with the numbers, but just to give you a range of how many carbs we're talking here and how you could structure your day like this, I would recommend shooting for around 25 to 35% of your total daily carbs before your workout, and then 25 to 35% after your workout. So 50 to 70% of your total daily carbs around that workout window. A couple quick examples again. Let's say you work out in the evening, maybe you work out at 5 p.m. So you'd want to keep those carb-dense foods low in your breakfast and your lunch. Then maybe you add a carb-rich snack mid-afternoon as like a pre-workout snack. And then you work out at 5, then you do maybe a post-workout shake and you add some carbs, and then your post-workout meal will be dinner. So you do plenty of potatoes, rice, whatever it might be in that dinner. And then on the flip side, maybe you work out in the morning like me. If you work out really soon after waking up, it's going to be probably hard to get many carbs in before that workout. Not a big deal. Just do whatever works for you pre-workout. Add a carb snack if you can, if it sits all right in your stomach. Maybe you could do a shake with a carb supplement. Either way, just go with what works for you pre-workout. And then post-workout, just try to get plenty of carbs in. So post-workout shake, do a carb supplement, and then your breakfast is going to be your post-workout meal. Eat plenty of carbs again. You could even do a mid-morning snack with some carbs and then basically just taper off throughout the day. So hopefully that all makes sense. Super simple. If you are a visual person like me, I've put together a PDF with some examples for you so that you can actually see what a full day of this would look like and how it could be broken down. So on the PDF, I broke out, I have 4 different types of days on there. I've got a rest day, and I think it's a PM workout day, and then both AM and PM workout days with a post-workout shake on there too. So again, just a couple examples so you can see how this translates into real life and real eating. So if you want to grab those examples, the PDF is just at contemporarycavewoman.com/mini carb cycle. And the last thing I'll say in this video too is that I'm a big fan of developing really strong foundational habits first before making things any more complicated on yourself. So if you're still struggling to eat fresh, whole, unprocessed, natural foods for most meals most of the time, then focus on doing that first. Find some go-to healthy dinners, breakfast, lunch, snacks, whatever it might be. Develop a meal prep routine. Doing those things is going to get you further than worrying about your carbs and meal timing. So develop that strong diet foundation first. So with that, I hope you found this helpful, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.